What happens next in Israel? Part 25. Yahushua will then come by air east of Yerushalayim to Har HaZeitim, the Mount of Olives, because of the angels in Acts 1:11 and 12, who said, "This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner, as you have seen him go into heaven." Then they returned from Yerushalayim, from the mount called Olivet. The Lord shall go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Yerushalayim on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south, after the Mount of Olives splits to the north and south. And ye shall flee into the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal, east of the Mount of Olives. The earthquake will for a moment back off the multitudes in the valley, who are fighting to take back the Temple Mount to restore the image of the beast, destroy the Jewish resistance, and take vengeance because of the vile judgments sent by God against the kingdom of the beast. The beast will call for vengeance. The Jewish people will be able to escape through the mountain pass when Moshicah kills the armies pursuing them, much like when the Jews escaped Pharaoh, as God drowned his army after they chased Israel by following them into the Red Sea. The Jewish defenders will be able to hold out against the multitudes prior to Yahushua's arrival. In that day the Lord shall defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them shall be as David. Zechariah 12:6. The Lord will supernaturally empower the Jewish defenders. In that day I will make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord shall blow the trumpet. Zechariah 9:14. Those under siege in Jerusalem will take refuge in the valley to the east of the Mount of Olives, before Yahushua slaughters the multitudes attempting to enter the Temple Mount of the holy city, and pursue every Jew who will take refuge in the valley. The Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. Zechariah 14:5. This is when the dead and living saints are given new bodies and are taken by air to Yerushalayim. This is when all the saints go marching in to reign with Moshicah. When Yahushua uses his sword, the flesh and blood of those that have fought against Yerushalayim falls off their bones in Zechariah 14:12. He will also destroy the rest of the beast's armies, all the way up to the giant phalanx extending from Megiddo. And in that day I will make Yerushalayim a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Zechariah 12:3. Blood-like stains from grape treading are on this man, who seems to be happy in his work. The Temple Mount is in the center, and the valley of Jehoshaphat on the right side of it, next to the Mount of Olives. This map, which shows the Kidron Valley as it meets the Hinnom Valley, is ironically colored dark pink. A view from the air above the south side of the old city showing the Kidron Valley. The Kidron Valley is also called the Valley of Jehoshaphat. These valleys meet to form a long valley going south of Yerushalayim, which will be a path for the blood to flow from the multitudes who attack Yerushalayim. I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Joel 3:2. In Joel 3:8, the Lord tells how he will avenge those in Israel who were taken captive by the armies who occupied Israel for 42 months and counterattacked against the Jews who began to liberate Greater Jerusalem in Joel 3:13. The Lord says that the press is full, their fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. This is because of the multitudes in the valley of decision in Joel 3:14. That's the valley of Jehoshaphat. I have trodden the winepress. Isaiah 63:2. Who knew the exact distance of the flow of the blood of the Goyim and why this distance corresponds to modern geography and previously mentioned prophecy? Find out in What Happens Next in Israel, Part 26. For more information and ways that you can help us to blow the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm, you may contact us, Pathway to Heaven, by email, shlomo1335@gmail.com. Ask for Shlomo. You may like us on Facebook and comment on Twitter or Tumblr. Yisrael Kai.